person with you, and just talk us through the unfortunate setback you had and how it happened, and when you think you might be able to return from that.
Pretty much, just kind of like I said, just going through, practice or just workouts, and I landed on somebody's foot. Initially, I didn't think it was that bad. I kind of was able to get up and walk off, but then I started to get swollen and got an MRI, an X-ray, and just went from there. But I think it's just a day-by-day process. Just trusting the staff that we have, coming in every day, ready to work. I haven't really ever gotten hurt and had to sit out this long before, so it's definitely new for me. Something that I don't want to get used to, for sure. But I think it's a different challenge for sure. Just learning how to come in every day and work on something other than the court. I think this summer, me, but as well as our coaching staff and the rest of the players, we've got accustomed to coming in every day and working on our game and just becoming better on the court. I think I had to change kind of that kind of shift that mindset to off the court and make sure that I come back as healthy as I can, and still put in that work, but just realize that it's not going to be on the court.
Hey, what's up, Patrick? Darnell Mayberry with The Athletic. I'm curious to know, we talked a lot at Summer League about how your role there wasn't going to be what it is here this season. How do you go about figuring out your role with these new pieces while you're trying to fit in with them and play alongside them, but also develop and grow your game at the same time?
I think, when what's good for the team is what's good for me. I think winning definitely solves everything. Everybody's role is perfect, when you're winning and when things are going good. I think training camp definitely, I think we start tomorrow. Training camp definitely will be a big part of that, a big insight into that. That'll kind of be our first, practice all together. So it's kind of hard to say. The season hasn't started yet. Like I said, we haven't had any real practices together, hadn't played any real games together. So I'm just ready for whatever. Kind of like I said last year, I'm just trying to help this team win. We added some pieces, of course, so some really good pieces. So I'm excited for that. But I mean that doesn't change the goal for me, which is to help this team win. Do anything that I can to help us win.
Hey Patrick, Mark Shanowski, ABC7. Billy Donovan was in here earlier, and he kind of surprised me, at least, by saying that one of the things that he wants to see from you is to improve your conditioning level, which sounds kind of odd for a guy, coming into the league at 19 years old. He said that he wants you to be able to sustain the explosiveness you showed for longer periods of games. How have you reacted to that type of challenge, and how much will this injury set you back in trying to get to that conditioning level Billy wants you at?
He definitely challenged me that at the beginning of the off season. We kind of sat down and had a meeting about the steps that he wanted to see me taking, and that was definitely a big key. I think I can definitely say that with the help of our coaching staff and our strength and conditioning staff, that my condition has gotten a whole lot better over the summer. This injury, I mean, it sends me back a little bit. Like I said, I can't really run up and down on the court quite yet, but I can still do things like bike and versa climb and Alta G, which is kind of like a treadmill that takes off some of the body weight, so you're not having the whole body weight. But kind of like I said, it's all about the work. There's always a way around actually running on the court. That's kind of what I was talking about as far as putting in the work off the court. Making sure that everything else, physically I'm good, of course the ankle, but make sure that, the rest of my body is good and healthy, eating right, like you said, being in condition, things like that I can control. Just putting in that work off the court, like I said, and really instead of on the court.
Patrick, Marshall here at CBS 2. Obviously, last year was a different season for everyone, but just coming into the NBA had to be somewhat of a whirlwind for you. Where are you now in terms of, outside of this injury specifically, in terms of your mindset and understanding what, I guess, the NBA life is?
It's kind of tough to say. because, like I said, last year was so different. So last year was pretty much all I knew. So for you guys and the guys that have been in NBA before last year, you kind of saw the difference between, pre-COVID and, a COVID season. But COVID season was the only thing I knew. So that's kind of the only NBA that I really know. So this year will kind of be different for me as well, because this is as close to a regular NBA season as I've ever been. This NBA season, which is, kind of like a regular NBA season, will be new to me. But I mean, kind of like I took it last year, just, take it one day at a time. There's going to be a lot of new things thrown at you that I haven't done before or haven't, seen before on the court specifically. Off the court specifically, I meant to say. So just taking it one day at a time and, relying on the vets, relying on anybody who's been around, asking questions. I think as your career goes on, you can never ask too many questions. So just being open to the guys that have been there and the guys that have been around.
Yeah, Patrick, I wanted to ask you about Kobe. I know you guys are cool. He's had a tough summer with the injury, and then they bring in a lot of guards. How have you tried to kind of help him through this summer, and what's he been like? I think I know the answer, what's he been like, but how have you tried to help him through what's been a tough summer?
One thing about Kobe that I can honestly attest to and really look up to, that he doesn't let anything kind of bother him. You can never tell. I saw last game, whether he had a good game or bad game, still comes in the gym, still with the same mindset, still with the same energy. As you can tell, he's a very, 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 very energetic person. And, with the injury, it can kind of be tough, especially in the summer when you want to work out, you want to, get on the court, get some shots up, and he couldn't. So I know it was draining for him, but he didn't let it, he didn't let anybody see it. Me and him kind of have a relationship to where he can tell me anything. He knows that, and I can tell him anything. So we've kind of had those conversations about the season, just trusting the process and trusting his rehab and not trying to come back too early or not trying to sneak and get shots up, things like that, because I know he wants to. But I can say that he doesn't let anything really bother him. He's taking his rehab pretty much as hard as I've seen him, work on the court. He's taking, the same approach off the court, and that's kind of made it easier on me, with my ankle, because he's been out way longer, than I have. So seeing how he went about that all summer kind of, made it easy for me to, go about my rehab and, handle business for, off the court.
Patrick, Rob Schaefer, NBC Sports Chicago. Towards the end of last season and then through Summer League, we talked to you a lot about your offensive game. Defensively and on the glass, it seems like you're going to be relied upon a lot this year, sliding up to the 4 with the front court being a little bit undersized. Billy talked about that a little bit. How much responsibility do you feel when you do get back to even take your game to another level than it was last year, defensively and rebounding?
I think that just comes with, reps. Of course, I've had a full season under my belt guarding, some of the best players in the league. So just having those reps, just having that, the mentality that, I've kind of done this before. Obviously, it's going to be different. Every game's different. Every season's going to be different. But just having those reps, I think that helps a lot. And then having guys, that can also defend, like, Lonzo and Zach. I think Zach showed really a lot in with the Olympics, that he can really, defend when he wants to. And he is, one of the best defenders, I think, in his league. Of course, DeMar. We have a lot of really good defenders on this team, so I don't think it all, boils down to me. But I'm definitely, ready to do my part defensively on the boards. Just kind of like what I said earlier. Anything this team needs me to do, to win, I'm all for it.
Patrick, before the injury, how did your summer go? Were there things you're trying to work on? Do you think there's things you got better at?
Summer went really well for me. I think I sat down, like I said, after the season, had meetings with the coach in the front office, talked with some of my teammates at that time, and just was trying to get their insight on what I needed to work on, because this offseason was my first real offseason as a pro, to where you have to work on the things that you want to work on. You get pretty much your time to work on those things. Conditioning for sure was one of them. just being more well-rounded offensively, being comfortable in the position that I was in last year, you know, whether there's ball in my hands or you know, without the ball. You know, being more consistent, jump shooting, just pretty much everything. I think you can never be, you know, too good at, you know, the simple things. So ball handling, of course, shooting mechanics, things like that. I think the summer went, you know, really well for me, even with the injury. I'm just excited to get, you know, started with the season.
Sam Smith with Bulls.com. Last season, there was some debate about your position, what you were or what you should be. It seems like now with the addition of DeMar and what Billy Donovan said, you're a power forward or stretch four. Do you see that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, whatever position I need to play for this team to win. I mean, I think last year I kind of played, you know, in between both the 3 and the 4. So, I mean, I have no problem being a 4 or 3 or anything.
Just wanted to follow up quickly. It seemed like last season everybody was, you know, Patrick, you got to shoot more. And it seems like now this season with the addition of DeRozan, Vucevic full season, it seemed like maybe you can step into a role you're comfortable with, facilitator and rebounder, role player. Do you see it that way? How do you see it?
I see it, I mean, we haven't played our first game yet, so there's really no true way of knowing what role I have to play. Like I said, I'm comfortable playing any role that I need to, but I'm just, you know, as the season goes on, roles change. I think last year we kind of saw that with, you know, COVID. Guys had to sit out with COVID. A couple guys had to sit out with injury. So there is no clear cut, you know, I would say position or role for anybody on this team. Kind of like I said, the season hasn't even started yet, and nothing goes, you know, perfectly to plan. So I think we all just have to be ready to, you know, step in and do whatever it takes. From what I could see last year, you know, the NBA season, kind of like I said, never goes perfect. I mean, every team has a plan that they start out with, but it rarely ever goes, you know, like that. So I think it's all about just everybody being ready to step up and do whatever it takes to win, like I said.
Patrick, just on DeMar, you spoke, I think it was at Summer League, about aspiring to, you know, a lot of different aspects of his game and being excited to learn from him. Now that you've started to get to know him a little bit and work with him, what has that been like, and have you learned anything about DeMar being his teammate that maybe you had seen from the outside and kind of looked up to but didn't know as intimately before?
I learned a couple things about him. Like I said, training camp hasn't started yet. I think training camp and then you know, just throughout the season, I learned a lot more, just being around him a little bit more, you know, pretty much every day. But from what I could see, I mean, he's the things that he does in the game is exactly what he does in practice, exactly what he does in pickup. He's just meticulous about get to his spots, doing what he's comfortable doing. You're not going to speed him up. You're not going to get him out of his comfort zone. I think that's something that I could definitely learn from. He knows where his spots are. He gets to those spots, and if he's not comfortable, then he gets off of it. He's okay playing off the ball as well. And I think that's going to be big for me in my future, but also for our team. So I'm just excited to learn from him, but also, you know, the other guys still got to learn from Vooch, trying to get some post moves in there. You know what I mean? Still got to learn from Zach. Still got to learn from Kobe. I mean, it's this team. I'm just super excited, not only for myself, you know, selfishly myself, just being able to learn from all these different people, but also, you know, for how good we can be as a team. And the group of guys that we have in the locker room are, you know, some of the best, you know, on the court and off the court. So I'm just super excited for this season, just to see how much I'll learn. Like I said, selfishly, just how much I'll learn, but also to see what we can accomplish as a team.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.